In other regions, particularly among the Meru people, guerrilla units led by figures like Field Marshal Musa Moriyama and General Beimunji continued their fight. They held out in the forests, a persistent symbol of defiance, even as Kenya moved towards independence. Tragically, leaders like General Beimunji were killed shortly after Kenya finally achieved self-rule in 1963, a bitter end to their long struggle. With independence achieved, you might think the Mau Mau fighters would be celebrated as national heroes. But the reality was far more complicated. Kenya's first president, Jomo Kenyatta, who had been imprisoned by the British for allegedly masterminding the rebellion, took a surprising stance upon taking power. He publicly denounced the Mau Mau, famously calling it a disease which had been eradicated and must never be remembered again. He urged Kenyans to forget the past and move forward in a spirit of reconciliation, saying, "We must have no hatred towards one another." Why would the new government distance itself from the very movement that many believed paved the way for freedom? The answer lies in the complex politics of post-colonial Kenya. Kenyatta's government sought to build a stable, unified nation. This meant including many of the so-called loyalists, Kenyans who had collaborated with the British and opposed the Mau Mau impositions of power and influence. Celebrating the Mau Mau would have alienated this powerful group and potentially destabilized the new nation. So, for decades, the story of the Mau Mau was officially silenced, suppressed from public discussion, and erased from school textbooks. The veterans of the Forest War were largely forgotten, living in poverty and obscurity while a new elite, some of whom had opposed them, prospered. But you can't erase history forever. While the government tried to bury the memory of the Mau Mau, opposition groups and academics kept the story alive. They saw the Mau Mau not as a tribalistic disease, but as the true, radical heart of the independence movement.